Okay, Black Boxing, man, I'm just gonna come with another quick video, man. Shout out to the LDBC, man. In my opinion, man, I think some people actually want to see Terence Crawford lose to Jeff Horn. I see people continue to say, well, we got to see what he got to do at 147, what he got to do at 147. I hear people say he got rocked by a Gamboa. I heard people say, like, well, he got to get past Jeff Horn first. When have Jeff Horn actually been a legitimate threat, man? Okay, I know he beat Pacquiao, but to be honest, Pacquiao was supposed to wash Jeff Horn. But it really showed you how past Pacquiao, how past his prime really was, man. You got an individual like Terence Crawford, the only fighter. I have to remind people, man, the only fighter who have been undisputed in 10 plus years, but many people, who has he fought? Who has he fought? He fought mediocre fighters. But guess what? Y'all favorite fighters haven't become undisputed. And probably is not going to become undisputed. We already know, man, when people start, throwing that shade, it's because they know that Terence Crawford is a legitimate and a real threat to their favorite fighter, man. Man, this is how it goes, But there's nothing wrong with saying that. See, I'm not going to listen. I don't have to put down one particular fighter. Listen, to be honest, man, I like fighters, but I'm not a fan of no fighter that much to have to start throwing shade at the other fighter, man. This is what it is. What I did say in 2018, Terence Crawford became undisputed last year, 2017. I said after that, I don't care if I like you as a fighter or not. If you're not trying to do what Terence Crawford have done, I'm not going to, I'm not going to say anything good about you, man. Keith Thurman, phenomenal fighter. I like, Keith Thurman until he started pussyfooting around, and every time you mention Earl Smith's name, he started, backtracking and basically doing a moonwalk like Michael Jackson and shit. So there's no way I can say that I can continue to like a fighter like that, man. Like even AJ, Anthony Joshua was an okay fighter in my eyes until he started, until they started how the way they act different when Deontay Wilder name get brought up. So I can't sing high praise to a fighter that act that way. It's just how it goes, man. So you got a fighter like Terence Crawford who's actually saying all the good things, who is actually, when it comes to, he's not a guy that back down at all. So in my opinion, y'all should want him to, to say the things that he's saying. Everybody else is saying opposite. So if he's saying, hey, I see flaws in this guy, if I can beat this guy, if his trainer's saying, hey, we can beat this guy, what's wrong with that? I know I said that in the first video. I'm just saying, man, I just believe some people really want to see, they rather see Terence Crawford lose because they know it'd be an easier road for their favorite fighter. See, if Terence Crawford win, which he will, man, he gonna blow the fuck, man, he finna blow Jeff Horn out the water, man. It's not gonna be even easy, man. Y'all hoping that the weight don't transition. Y'all hope that his power don't transition. Y'all hope that Jeff Horn beat him. Y'all hope that all these things. But I can keep wishing and hoping, but it's not gonna happen, man. See, like I said, Terence Crawford is the only fighter that I've seen. First time. Every other fighter I had to watch him and say, okay, all right, he's shaping up to be a good fighter. Terence Crawford is the only fighter that I've seen that said, when I first seen him, say he was the goods. And he haven't disappointed me yet. He took the fight. He had to move up in weight. He took the fight 2 weeks notice. And it was ill-advised. His team didn't want him to take the fight. But he took the fight because he wanted the TV exposure as well as he wanted to, you know what, I want to be seen, man. I want to be, seen as a phenomenal fighter. So he beat British Prescott, and from that day on, man, he won titles at 135, won titles at 140 unified, and he's trying to do the same thing at 147. So what's wrong with it? What's wrong with a fighter actually trying to be great? He's trying to say they ain't trying to be there. They ain't trying to be in the boxing game that long. He unified one division, became undisputed, and he's trying to do this. He's trying to do it in the second division, man. How many fighters have done it? Ain't too many fighters who have actually became undisputed in one, let alone trying to do for two. It just so happened. When he made that statement about guys moving up to 154, like, I don't know, you know, we'll see if he can move to 150. Reason why he made the statement, because he basically trying to give leeway. Okay? This is listen, he always had his eyes on 147, man. Manny Pacquiao was he just wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao because of, you know, with the name that Manny Pacquiao have, you know, being a Hall of Fame fighter. But his eyes was always on the other guys at 147, man. You don't think his eyes was there already? Man, his eyes been there, man. He been wanting to fight the best. So, you know, y'all should actually want him to actually win, because I think, you know, if Jeff Horn could pull it off, then Jeff Horn could pull it off. You know what I mean? He's an undefeated fighter as well. But when you got a fighter like Bud Crawford, man, he's a diamond. Man, listen, he comes once in a lifetime, man. Those other guys, I know they got some good attributes. They've been, you know, shaped and molded. But Terence Crawford, man, like he, from the boxing guys, man, people like him don't come that often, man. So appreciate him while he's here, man, because maybe 3 to 4 fights he might be done anyway. And if he can actually beat Jeff Horn, he probably fight that dude Benavidez, and if he can get Crawford and Thurman after that, he'll probably be done with boxing, man. It's K Black Boxing. Like, comment, subscribe.